Is this some kind of joke? The words rang out like a slap against the courthouse benches. The bailiff froze mid-pour on his dented coffee thermos, and a frayed "Thank You Veterans" poster stirred on the bulletin board by the door. Walter Hale didn't move. His hand rested steady over the faded tattoo. "Order," the bailiff said. "Let him answer," someone muttered near the benches. A flyer from the post office fluttered on the bulletin board by the door. Walter Hale didn't move. He rested his weathered hand over the faded tattoo and breathed once, slow and measured. "Sir, the prosecutor said that Mark is distracting the court." "Roll the sleeve down." "It's a relic," a spectator whispered. The judge lifted her eyes, waiting. Walter looked straight ahead. "I'll keep my sleeve as it is." "Noncompliance noted," the prosecutor said, smiling for the gallery. "We have standards here." "Counsel," the judge said, "proceed." "Gladly." He turned to the benches. "The quiet man thinks a smear of old ink makes him special." A ripple of laughter. "Show respect," the bailiff warned. Steady, Walter breathed, barely audible. "Microcliff." "The clerk will note the behavior," the judge said. "Explain it then," the prosecutor pressed. "What is it? A club stamp? A bargain tattoo?" He tilted his head. "Or just a mistake you regret?" "Answer," he barked. Walter let silence do the heavy lifting, then said, "It's not your burden to carry." Gasps. Rude, a man hissed. "Your Honor," the prosecutor said, "I move that the witness be compelled to conceal that emblem." The judge paused, gaze sliding to the bulletin board and back. "On what grounds?" "Decorum," he said. "And relevance." "It's nothing, just ink from another century." "It's part of me," Walter murmured. "Microcliff." The judge exhaled. "Counsel, relevance first." "It suggests he's trying to sway sentiment," the prosecutor said. The gallery reacted. "He wants pity points. Do you?" "Mr. Hale," the judge asked. "I want the truth to be steady," Walter said. "Spare us the slogans," the prosecutor said. "Roll it down." "No," Walter said. "Then tell us what the tattoo means," the prosecutor said. Walter's eyes lifted to the state flag above the bench. He did not answer. "Exactly," the prosecutor smirked, embarrassed. "Or he's dignified," a woman whispered. "Quiet," her neighbor said. "Let him stand." "Silence," the bailiff warned. Microcliff. "We will maintain decorum," the judge said. "Counsel, question facts, not fashion." "Fashion." He barked a laugh. "Your Honor, it looks like a faded stamp from a lost ball game." "It's older than your laughter," Walter said. "Mr. Hale," the judge said, softer now. "Are you refusing to answer?" "I'm refusing to pretend it's nothing," Walter said. "Poetry," the prosecutor scoffed. "The court needs clarity." "Clarity," Walter said, "comes with weight." "Enough," the prosecutor said. "Your Honor, compel him." "We'll take this one step at a time," the judge said. "Step 1, the clerk whispered, "note the ledger." "Step 2, a spectator breathed. "Use your eyes." She surveyed the room, the bulletin board, the faces, the man with a hand on an old mark. "What's that mark worth anyway?" she asked, not quite to anyone. "The worth," Walter said, "isn't printed. It's carried," the clerk added. "And seen," the bailiff said, quieter. "We'll hear the answer in time," the judge breathed. "Noted," the clerk said. The hallway outside the Tidewater courtroom hummed with low chatter. A corkboard near the post office window held yard sale flyers, a church supper notice, and a faded "Thank You Veterans" poster with a fraying corner. A fountain burbled, pens scratched on clipboards. Travis stepped into the doorway like he owned the lint in the carpet. "Mr. Hale," he said, "we're not done. Roll that sleeve down." Walter rested 2 fingers on the edge of his cuff. "Don't touch what you never carried." "Sir, the court expects compliance." "The court expects truth," Walter said. Marta Delaney, the court clerk, eased between them with a paper cup. "Water," she kept her voice kind. "It's warm in here today." "Thank you," Walter said. He didn't drink, just held it. His other hand drifted to the old ink on his forearm. The sleeve had crept just enough to show a faint curve, a laurel that had once been sharp as a winter horizon. Travis noticed and smirked. There it is. A doodle pretending to be history. Counsel Marta said tone. "Clarity," Travis replied. "Sir, conceal it." Walter inhaled, steady. "No." The scratch of a pen marked the refusal on a form. Someone coughed. The fountain clicked, refilled, hushed. A door at the end of the hall closed like a book returning to its shelf. "Then explain it," Travis said, "if it's so precious." "It's carried," Walter said, eyes lowering to the mark. "Not displayed." "Non-responsive," Travis said. "Clerk note his obstinacy." Marta slid a manila folder from the crook of her arm. "I've noted that Mr. Hale's certification is permanent." She tapped a page inside the folder. "Stamped decades ago. The seal is intact." Travis blinked. "Permanent, permanent," Marta said. "No expiration language. Let me see that." "You may review through the proper request," she said, not moving her hand. "Do not touch what isn't yours." Walter's fingers traced the faint laurel. A brief private nod. Breath out. The hum of the building pressed in like a seashell held to the ear. "Even if there's a paper," Travis said, "the display is inappropriate." "Respect is appropriate," Walter answered. Marta angled the folder so the embossed seal caught the hallway light. "Ledger says authorized. Custodian status affirmed." "Authorized by who?" Travis snapped. "By those who carried weight before you were born," Walter said. A man waiting on a bench murmured, "Easy, son." "Stay out of this," Travis said. Counsel Marta said firmer now. Travis leaned closer. "Roll it down." Walter's voice stayed low. "No." "Then I'll get an order." "You'll get patience," Marta said. "And a copy of the ledger page." Travis laughed once too loud for the narrow hall. "Patience won't change policy." "Paper might," the man on the bench said, lifting a brow. Sir Travis said, "You're not part of this." "Community is part of everything in this building," the man replied, looking at the corkboard. "We show up. We read the board. We pass casseroles when it's time." Marta offered the cup again. Mr. Hale Walter shook his head. "I'm steady." "Then steady we remain," Marta said. Travis exhaled through his nose. "This is theater." "Court is memory with rules," Walter said. "Still non-responsive." "Still standing," Walter added. A ripple of hallway chatter rolled like distant surf. The fountain cycled again. Somewhere a typewriter bell chimed from an office where an old clerk still preferred the machine. Clerk Travis said, "Put in writing that I requested concealment and was refused." "I already did," Marta said. "And I documented the ledger." "Good," he said, straightening his tie. "Because if the court won't enforce decorum, command will." Marta's eyes cooled. "Counsel, think carefully." "I am thinking," Travis said, stepping backward toward the doorway. If you won't respect the standard, Walter's gaze didn't follow him. He looked at the laurel, and the laurel looked back, the faint curve like a shoreline remembered at dusk. Travis lifted his chin, made sure the witnesses heard him, and let the words land like a gavel. Then we'll take it to command. The church hall smelled of lemon oil and old hymnals. Behind a folding partition, the choir warmed a line, "Hold fast, hold fast." Through an open window, a porch swing creaked with dusk. Marta Delaney guided Walter to a back pew. The manila folder rested on his knee. The embossed seal caught a sliver of light. "Mr. Hale," Marta said low, "I made a copy of the ledger page. If anyone disputes, we have it." "I'm grateful," Walter said. "You don't have to answer what wounds you," she added. "But proof belongs in daylight." Walter's hand covered the faded laurel. He let the lid of memory lift. "Keep talking to me," a medic said in a wind-whipped tent. "I'm here," Walter answered. "I'm here." On the litter beside him, a pilot boy whispered, "Cold." "You're going home, Eddie," Walter said. "Hear me home," the boy breathed. A corpsman leaned close. "Brace." Walter felt the bite, the slow drag of ink. A tiny laurel unfurled an oath to be found and believed when paper failed. The choir's hum threaded through the memory and pulled him back. Travis's voice struck the doorway. "Relics don't belong in our court." Heads turned. The altos fell silent. Counsel Marta said, standing, "This is a church hall during recess." "Then let the museum keep him," Travis said. "We need law, not legend." "Law remembers," Walter said. "Law requires relevance," Travis snapped. "That mark is sentiment." Marta lifted the copy. "Ledger. Permanent authorization. Custodian status affirmed." "By whom?" "By those who carried weight," Walter said, "and by the office that keeps their names straight." A youth sailor hovered in the aisle cap under his arm. "Ma'am, is this the veteran from the docket?" "It is," Marta said. The sailor looked at Walter's forearm. "Sir, that laurel, was it taken then?" "It was taken," Walter said, "when a kid named Eddie needed a hand to hold." "Enough," Travis said. "This isn't testimony." "Neither are your insults," Marta replied. "But here we are." The porch swing creaked. The hymn restarted, soft as a hand on a shoulder. "Sir," the sailor tried again, quieter. "Is it true?" Walter pressed his palm to the ink as if steadying a small flame. "It's true." "Then why not tell the whole story?" Travis challenged. "Because the story isn't mine alone," Walter said. "It belongs to those who didn't walk back through that door." Marta tapped the folder. "When we reconvene, this page goes to the bench. Proof belongs in daylight." "Paper won't change policy," Travis scoffed. "Paper sets it," Marta said. The sailor drew a breath. "Sir, thank you." "Hold fast," Walter answered. Travis stepped closer. "You want to sway the gallery with old ink. I'll ask the judge to compel concealment." "You already asked," Marta said. "You were denied. Then I'll take it higher." "What you call higher," Walter said, "is where memory stands." "Memory isn't evidence," Travis said. "Ledger is," Marta answered, tilting the seal toward the light. The sailor glanced toward the window. "My grandfather sang this hymn." He changed the line. "What line?" Walter asked. "Hold fast when hands are cold," the sailor said. Walter's mouth softened. He wasn't wrong. "Enough sentiment," Travis snapped. "Attend," Marta said. "When the judge returns, this page goes on the record. The authorization predates you, counsel." Travis squared his shoulders. "I'll argue relevance and decorum." "You'll meet proof and community," she replied. The choir lifted the cord again, a thread through the room. Walter looked at the boy, then the folder, then the dusk leaning close. "Sir," the sailor asked, voice no more than breath. Is it true? Walter's answer was a nod first, then words. "It is." Travis exhaled. "Court resumes in 2 minutes. We'll settle it properly." "May I walk with you?" the sailor asked. Walter rose. "You already are." The naval auditorium had the stillness of a held breath. "All rise," the bailiff called. Flags watched from the back wall as people stood. The judge nodded and everyone sat. Marta Delaney stood near the aisle with her manila folder. "We're on the record," the judge said. Walter Hale took his place beneath the flags, hands folded, sleeve unchanged. "Proceed," the judge added. Travis set his jaw. "Your Honor, relevance and decorum demand the witness conceal that mark." The judge looked to Marta. "Clerk," the judge said. "Ledger copy, Your Honor," Marta said. "Permanent authorization. Custodian status affirmed." "Sentiment," Travis said. "He's swaying the gallery." Walter lifted his gaze to the flags. He said nothing. "Mr. Hale," the judge said softer. "No, do you wish to respond?" Walter breathed once. "The mark is carried. It does not speak until called." "I call it grandstanding," Travis said. A side door opened. A path formed without anyone being told. A commander in service dress stepped inside and paused beneath the flag's cap tucked under his arm. He looked at the room, then at Walter. "Commander." The judge began, surprised. "This is—" He raised a hand, small and respectful. Sir Travis said, hopeful, "Now we're handling a matter of decorum." The commander's eyes moved to the clerk's folder. Marta angled the copy so the seal caught the light. "Permanent authorization," she said. He nodded once, then halted a few feet from Walter. The crowd leaned and stilled. Sir Travis tried again. The court must compel concealment. The commander did not answer. He stood spine straight, chin set. Then he rose in the old way, an acknowledgement offered to the man before him. The room inhaled as one. Walter's hand trembled. He lifted it slowly and returned the gesture, not crisp but true. The hush deepened into a low, warm chord. "Recognition on the record," Marta whispered. The judge touched the gavel to wood once lightly. Travis flushed. "Your Honor, what is the legal significance of a silent salute?" "Counsel," the judge said, "you may question facts. You may not scold respect." "It is still irrelevant," Travis said. "We require relevance." The commander spoke, voice steady. "Relevance is carried by men before it is carried by paper." His eyes held Walter's, and sometimes both. He faced the dais. "Your Honor, the emblem on that forearm belongs to a regiment whose dead fill more pages than this room has chairs. The custodian standing here bears authorization. He also bears memory that trained the ones who trained me." Travis swallowed. "Sir, with respect, procedure." "Procedure is a vessel," the commander said. "You are arguing the paint, not the water." The judge lifted a hand, and the soft murmur died. Walter lowered his arm. "No one here owes me deference," he said. "I ask only that we keep the weight where it belongs." "On the mark?" Travis asked. "On the promise behind it," Walter answered. Marta stepped toward the dais. "For the record, ledger admitted. Copy to counsel." "Admitted," the judge said. The commander faced Travis. "Young man, you mistook appearance for hazard and history for theater." His tone stayed even. "You're not the first. If you listen now, you may be the last in your row." Travis opened his mouth, then closed it. He stared at the folder, then at the flags as if they might hand him a different set of answers. A youth sailor in the second row cleared his throat. "Sir, permission." "Speak," the judge said. "Sir," the sailor asked the commander, "is the laurel what I think it is?" "It is," the commander said. The sailor straightened. "Then that is the standard I will try to keep." The commander gave a small nod. He stepped back just enough to hold the room and the man before him. His words were measured like stitching pulled true. "This mark," he said, "is the standard." The line moved through the auditorium like a bell's clean note. The judge wrote on a legal pad, then looked up. Counsel Travis took in a breath that found nowhere to go. "No further motion, Your Honor." "Very well," the judge said. "We proceed with respect intact." Someone in the back whispered about a library exhibit they'd been planning. Marta lifted her chin once as if to say yes, daylight and paper. Walter lowered his hand over the faded laurel. The tremor eased. He didn't look triumphant. He looked steady, like a porch light left on for anyone walking home late. In the foyer beneath glass, a simple placard stood beside a photo of a faded laurel custodian, authorization permanent. "Don't touch what you never carried." Radio static drifted from a portable on the desk. A local announcer's voice eased in. "This hour we honor those who kept the promise when things were breaking." Marta Delaney signed a chain of custody log and slid it to Travis. "Initial here," she said. "Library duty 2 weeks. Archival hours." Travis took the pen. "Understood." "Education over punishment," Marta said. "That's the order." June Carver, the historian, stepped from the stacks with a dust brush and a patient smile. "You must be Mr. Keene," she said. "I'm June. We'll start gentle." "Gentle?" Travis asked. "With a box that sneezes," she said, lifting a lid. "Bless you." Damon Ricks. The youth sailor arrived from the VA clinic hallway, still catching his breath. "Ma'am, the nurse says they'll play the radio segment between appointments." "Good," June said. "That's where echoes become habits." June set down a ledger from the year the authorization was stamped. "We catalog what holds us together," she said. "Paper names and hands that tried." Travis glanced at the exhibit. The laurel looked smaller beneath glass than it had on Walter's arm. "Where do I begin here?" June said, opening the ledger. "Read the line aloud." Travis cleared his throat. "Custodian status affirmed. Permanent authorization." He paused. "Signed by..." "Don't rush the names," June said. "Let them stand." On the radio, the choir's recording swelled under the announcer, "Hold fast when hands are cold." Travis steadied his breath. "Affirmed by the office that keeps their names straight." June nodded. "Now the letters." She pushed over a stack tied with twine. "Write index cards for each. Date sender a line that carries weight." Like what he asked. "Like this," Damon said, reading from the top. "We kept the line because somebody held what was breaking." Travis looked at his blank card, then wrote slowly, copying the sentence. Marta walked to the foyer case. A school group stopped to look. She watched a small hand rise and hover, then pull back. The child tucked his fingers, reading, "Please do not touch." "Ma'am," Damon asked June. "Can I try the indexer?" "You can," June said. "Rule 1, spell a name like it's a person in the room." "It is," Damon said, smiling a little. Travis turned another page. "Here's a letter from a medic," he said. "Mark him so he can be found. Mark him so he can be believed." June tapped her pencil twice. "Write that one bold." "Why bold?" Travis asked. "Because the young come in looking for certainty," June said. "They need a shelf to put it on." The radio voice returned. "At the library today, a quiet exhibit. No fanfare, just a line of thanks. Marta rejoined them. "How's the sneezing box?" productive June said. Travis held up his card. "I didn't understand," he said. "Not really." June offered him a clean cloth. "Understanding is a practice." He looked toward the foyer. A boy stood on tiptoe to see the laurel. His palm drifted toward the glass, then stopped. Damon stepped closer to the exhibit. He did not touch. He rested his hand on the wooden frame and looked. June spoke gently, so the sound would carry. The mark held them together. The boy nodded without knowing why. "Back to work," June said, smiling. "We have names to keep." The harbor diner's neon hummed in the early dark, its reflection bending across a rain-specked window. Inside, steam lifted from coffee cups and mingled with the faint buzz of the jukebox that hadn't worked in years. The porch swing of the owner's old house next door creaked with the wind, a homely metronome for the evening. Walter sat in his usual booth near the corner, the same spot where veterans had gathered for decades. The plaque from the library exhibit had been temporarily set on the counter for townsfolk to see the mark that held them together. Beneath the inscription, a sketch of the faded laurel glowed under the diner's yellow bulbs. Travis entered looking uncertain without his courtroom armor. He spotted Walter and hesitated, but Walter gestured to the booth across from him. "Sit down, son." Travis lowered himself onto the vinyl seat. The waitress poured coffee for both and left them in a cloud of steam and quiet. Walter cradled his cup. "We measure weight differently here. Not in winds and motions, but in what we keep together." "I was wrong," Travis said. "I mocked what I didn't understand." Walter nodded, no triumph in it. "Understanding takes time. I treated memory like evidence to dismiss." Travis said, voice low. "I forgot that memory is why we keep records at all." Steam curled between them. Walter placed his hand flat on the table. Travis looked down, then set his own hand atop it. Not forceful, steady. "You have the strength," Walter said, "if you let it be shaped." The radio above the counter shifted from static to a hymn reprise, the same melody that had threaded through the church hall. "Hold fast when hands are cold." The sound settled like warm light over the booths. A family paused at the plaque on the counter. A child reached toward the glass sketch, then pulled back, reading the rule without needing to be told. His reflection hovered, doubled like the generations before him. Travis cleared his throat. "Mr. Hale, I don't deserve the coffee." "Then drink it anyway," Walter said. "Deserving isn't the point. Carrying is." They sipped. The diner clatter went on around them, forks against plates, neon flicker rain tapping the window. For a moment, the silence at their booth spoke louder than the crowd. Travis finally extended his hand across the table. "I'm sorry." Walter looked at it, then clasped it firmly. His grip was frail, but resolute. The handshake lasted longer than custom, less a gesture than a transfer. The hymn on the radio faded to static. Walter released the hand, leaned back, and let the steam rise between them. "When things break," he said quietly, "hold them together." The diner's neon pulsed once more, steady against the dark. The diner's steam curled upward as the plaque from the library rested beneath a soft amber lamp, its sketch of the laurel steady as a porch swing in twilight. Walter sat quietly, his hand around the cup, while Travis, humbled, now joined him without fanfare. Their silence carried more weight than any verdict, a kindness sealed not by argument, but by coffee poured and shared. Like a lamp in a winter window, the gesture glowed beyond the booth, reminding every listener that real justice had not been punishment, but education, and that mercy takes root when judgment is set aside. Across town, the radio announcer retells their story in present tense, and a child in the foyer leans toward the glass case, his reflection trembling over the line of words. And under that amber lamp, proof endures the mark that held them together. When things break, hold them together.